This video is brought to you by eToro. Now, you may have seen that eToro sponsor a number of Premier League clubs. Now, if you don't have time to invest, you can use eToro's CopyTrader feature, copy top performing investors, so when they make a trade, you make the same trade automatically at no additional cost. Then click the link in the description and get on it right now. AFTV Turkish, here we go again.
Once again, Rob, another week, another L, more drop points, more misery, more heartless, gutless players out there. Here we go again, like you said.
Heartless, I mean, to be fair to them, second half, they really did have a go. Seemed to be a real lack of quality on the end of things. Brought on Martinelli, he looked a little sharp in his cameo. That was an encouraging sign. But do you look on it today and you say to yourself, and I know you've been saying for a very, very long time, and you're one guy, you've never been after the fact. You speak your mind. If your criticism comes your way, you don't care. You speak your mind. And you said right from the start of the season, you said the players weren't good enough. You said that the transfer window weren't good enough. You said that the board is the big problem. However, is the manager out of his depth now? Are you looking at a manager where you say to yourself, even if he had the players, would you be confident in him? Or I mean,
what can you be confident in, Rob? That's the thing. That's why what I ask people that are, blindly positive in Arteta. I always mention that too. There is blindly negative and there's also the blindly positive, which doesn't help. And I have to wonder that what do people really trust in him? We needed experience. We needed a tried and tested manager. If they wanted us to believe, that's what we needed.
Ancelotti.
A bit like him indeed. But instead they hired a novice. One of the biggest challenges in football right now is bringing Arsenal back to where we think we belong. We deserve it. Exactly. And we hired a novice for it, And at the end of the day, as much as, like you said, I try and direct it more to the bigger picture. When you're starting Eddie Nketiah ahead of Lacazette or even Balogun, and it backfires like today, he missed a big chance at a big time. At the end of the day, it's not guaranteed that our other strikers would score it, but you'd understand it a bit more. Willian, why was Pepe the one that was taken off? I'm not saying he was doing a madness, but he was definitely doing a bit more than Willian. Willian at times was just walking around. There was a time someone tried to set him up for a shot 20 yards out, and he was literally caught walking, flat-footed. Because he wasn't on his toes, because he doesn't care for Arsenal Football Club, Rob. A lot of these players don't care for Arsenal Football Club. It's convenience. That's why I'm not really here to fuel either Arteta in or fuel Arteta out. Because to be honest, he deserves some of the pressure onto him at the moment. The thing is that, right, as I said, and I know what you've said for a long time about the board and everything, and I respect that. But at this moment in time, it is what it is. They are in charge. Stan Kroenke owns the whole of the club, not even like before. He owns all of it, lock, stock and barrel. Yeah? We'd have to say at this moment in time, bar a miracle, he ain't going nowhere. So he's going to be in charge. Yeah.
That means that anybody who takes over is going to be in charge of these players or a lot of these players for quite a while until we get to move them on. So it's still going to bear down on Mikel Arteta. And he has been making a lot of big decisions that they all seem to be backfiring. Starting Eddie Nketiah today instead of Lacazette is a big decision to make, because Lacazette's a very senior player in the team. It hasn't worked.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? The Ozil decision hasn't worked. The Saliba decision. When I see the defending today on, that doesn't seem to have worked. So,
you
do have to look at managers and say, all right, we know it's not an ideal situation upstairs, but we still want you to get the best out of what's on the pitch.
You're right. You're right. Hence why I have no argument for or against him right now, because he deserves it. And at the same time, you know, like, I don't really give a shit what Pep said about him, what Arsene said about him. It doesn't really mean a thing. Maybe it's the wrong job at the wrong time. You know, at the end of the day, someone like Arteta in his position to get the chance to manage Arsenal Football Club, you're going to be excited. You're going to be exuberant about it. You're going to be happy. You're going to, you know, be on your toes. But at the end of the day, we needed that experience, Rob, and it pushes coming to shove. But at the same time, that statement recently, it assumes like it's blind backing. It seems like regardless of these results, that statement says everything's going great. That was only one loss ago that statement came out. Everything's going great. So one more loss doesn't change great to fucked up. You know, one loss.
When I heard that statement, I have to say, man, that's one of the most appalling statements I've ever heard. Like,
listen, Rob,
you're a manager, but great.
Listen, Rob. Listen, yeah. Look at today's game. Today's game is actually perfect for me. I'm glad we touched on it, because look at Everton. Look at us. It's been a year for both managers. We're a year into that transition. But you know what is key? Look at who owns that club. The same lot that we ran out of the club. And by we, I said a lot of this love Arsenal, hate Usmanov, and a lot of the misplaced aggression towards him ended up with him giving one last go at buying out the club to prove himself. It didn't work, and they packed up and went to Everton. Mashiri, and I know he's slightly backed by Usmanov. It's obvious to see. Okay. What does that bring? Who did they bring in? Look at their director of football, Marcel Brands. He's been around the block from about 1999. He's been working around Europe. He's been part of PSV title winning sides. He's been part of AZ Alkmaar when Louis van Gaal was in charge and they won the league against all odds. He's known for developing players. If we had someone like that in charge, maybe I have someone and we have someone to believe in. Instead, we have Edu, who on his resume, when you open up Google and search his name, Brazil coordinator. He helped Carlos Queiroz for Iran at one of the World Cups, Corinthians for a few years with no achievements under his belt. So at the end of the day, how am I meant to trust that man? But it comes down to, listen to this, Usmanov, Mashiri, Marcel Brands, Ancelotti, Kroenke, Vinay, Edu, Arteta. It stinks from top to bottom in comparison to Everton's setup now. But we are partly to blame for that, because we didn't think, and I say we, it was never me. I've always wanted Usmanov in this club. I never turned my nose up at him to think that we're not going to be one of those clubs that needs to spend money. If football goes that way, you need to spend money. We got that wrong. I am part of this fan base. A big section of this fan base didn't like it. We got that wrong. But at the end of the day, that is the big key. So if we change Arteta, who's the last piece of that four-man or that spine, we talk about the spine of the team all the time, Rob. This is the spine of Arsenal. Kroenke, Vinay, Edu, and Arteta. Inexperience, and an owner that doesn't even know the game of football. He doesn't know it. In his 14 years at Arsenal, he's invested 5 billion over at the Rams. He's built them a new stadium. That's in the time he's been majority and full owner of this club. So be patient. Rob, tell me, 2 years ago, we was told be excited. Now we're told be patient. How do you go from be excited to be patient? It means you got it wrong again. So as much as
what are we going to say next?
Exactly. What's next? That 12 months down.
We'll be back the way we're going at the moment.
We can't trust none of them. And at the end of the day, do you believe that if Arteta goes, which looks likely, it looks like it's understandable. I wouldn't be surprised if I woke up tomorrow and I see Arteta sacked or whatever. If he goes, do you trust Edu to now go and get a Pochettino? Do you trust him to go and get an Allegri? Do you trust him to go and prize away a Simeone maybe? I don't trust him to do anything like that. I trust him to go get one of his brethren over in Brazil and bring him over here, maybe an ex-Corinthians manager, and bring him over here and act like he's the next best thing. Because at the end of the day, since even Edu's coming, we've got players that... William, players that really don't care about Arsenal Football Club, playing for the club, and we have to look at them as the experience. We have to look at them as the leadership in this side. That leadership, walking across the pitch, Willian, disgraceful, but it comes from the top, Rob. So as much as Arteta is the next one on the chopping board, because he is, Edu has to be after that. Vinay has to be after that. But essentially, we can't keep going up the ladder. Let's start at the top of the ladder and work our way down. If you start at the top, you might bring in an owner, or you might put some sort of pressure or something on the right change at this club. I don't know how we'll do it. Rob, we might have to do it. You know, you might have to be involved. DT might have to be involved. Troops might have to be involved. Anyone that's got any sort of a platform, big up Swiss Ramble, because before I came here on Twitter, he put up something about Kroenke and the inexperience from top down. We need more people, more supporters that have a platform, that have people that listen to them to speak out. Yes, about the manager, but more about the bigger picture, because we've gone through managers. We haven't ever looked at the bigger picture. Kroenke is just smiling at the top of his, you know, empire right now. And the empire's crumbling beneath him, but he doesn't seem to care. It's been crumbling for 10 years. You know, this ain't surprising to me, Rob. Hence why I can't keep on blaming the manager. Before a game, I'm not excited, Rob, because even if we win that game, what are we achieving this season, Rob? What are we going to achieve in the league? We win a game, we win 2 games, we win 3 games. We're not even going to be in the top 6. So in reality, this season's a write-off. So let's try as fans to make
it worse than a write-off if we're not careful.
It could be. It could be. At the moment, it's mad because we're comfortably bottom 6 right now. There's 3 points separating us and the one above us, and they've got games in hand. Burnley have 2 games in hand on us behind us.
I'm on about was separating below us.
I know. Burnley 2 games in hand. Brighton, but it's just mad. I don't think we'll, and I won't entertain the idea of relegation and relegation battle until February, March. I can't do that. But at the end of the day, Rob, the reality is, let's make something of this as fans, and let's try and just be as vocal as we can about the real problems this season. Negative cloud or not, however people want to put it, just do the right thing for once and speak out again, because it's over, Rob. You know, the football club has been taken out of the whole equation now. It's just football company, like I mentioned before. That's all we have on our hands. That's it. You know, and they're taking the piss out of us, Rob.
This video is brought to you by eToro. Now, you may have seen that eToro sponsor a number of Premier League clubs, and you might be wondering, who are they? Well, eToro is a global investment platform with over 16 million registered users, which offers everything from stocks, currencies and commodities to cryptos like Bitcoin. Now, if you don't have time to invest, eToro is perfect. You can use eToro's CopyTrader feature, copy top performing investors, so when they make a trade, you make the same trade automatically at no additional cost. So if you're looking to start investing and you want to find out more about eToro, then click the link in the description and get on it right now. Robbie here from AFTV. We just got to say a big thank you to everybody who follows us across our various channels. Over 1 million followers on YouTube. Don't forget, you can now also catch us on Reddit. We're on Reddit, so get involved with us on Reddit and also on TikTok. Keep it AFTV, baby, right here.